Hello class, let's go ahead and take a look at this assignment 2-1 game engine practice pass fail. So inside module 2 there are a bunch of there are a bunch of resources, right, which you should be reading, and that will help you with this assignment. I'm going to go ahead and do this in this video, and you're welcome to follow along with me if you would like. So step 1, what they want you to do, what this assignment wants you to do, is to download an asset pack from the Marketplace tab in the Unreal Launcher. There are lots of free ones, and I recommend choosing a free one, especially as you're first learning. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So I've opened up the Epic Launcher here, and I've already found an asset pack that I'm going to use. And so I'm going to use, and you're welcome to use this too, I'm going to use this Rural Australia asset pack, which is free. So if you go to the Marketplace tab right here, let's go there, and I can type in here Rural Australia and hit enter, and there it is. You see it's free. If you click on this, you can add it to your cart. It'll show up here in your cart, and you can open this and it'll give you a checkout option, right? It'll be $0. The first time that you do this, you'll have to accept like a user agreement, but then you'll be able to download it and you'll have it. If you want to do something else, you can. What I would recommend doing is, let's go back to the Marketplace. I would click on free. This is going to show you everything that is free. And then supported engine versions, I would do this 5.1 because that's the one that we have installed. I have noticed that many good free content for you to access is only supported on engine 5.0. So I know in the first video I shared with the class, I said, let's all install 5.1. And I think that's good. However, if there's an engine that you really, or there's an asset pack you really want to use that only works with 5.0, feel free to go ahead and install that. That's fine. Please do not install, anything else other than like these two versions. Okay. So once you get if you're following along and you get the Rural Australia pack, you click on this Library tab. You'll see here it is, Rural Australia, right? You can click on this Add to Project, and it's going to show you the different projects that you can add it to, right? We don't need to go ahead and create a new project for this assignment. Let's go ahead back to the instructions. Where are they? Pardon me, one sec. Here we go. So it's saying create a new blank project. I'm just going to use the one that I did for, prior with the bench. Once the project has been created, return to the launcher and scroll to the Vault section of the library. Import the asset pack by clicking Add to Project and selecting your project. Then open your project again. Using only one asset from the pack, such as a rock, create a small scene. You can accomplish this by scaling, rotating, and positioning several copies of the same object. Make sure that you use at least 10 instances of this object, and remember to be creative. When you are finished, upload a screenshot of your scene. All right, cool. Let's go back here. So I already added it to this, but what you'll want to do is you'll select this and you'll hit Add to Project, okay? I already did it. So once you've done that, go ahead and open up the project. What you're submitting, right? You won't be submitting the entire project folder like you did for the last assignment. You're just going to be submitting a screenshot. So I'm going to let this open, and I'll resume the video once it's opened. Great. Okay. Make sure this is in the view here. Cool. Preparing textures. All right. So everything's good to go. You'll see by default your screen might look a little something like this, right? I like to always have the content drawer open. So I recommend opening up this content drawer and clicking this Dock in Layout. Additionally, I'm a Maya user, and that's also what I teach when I do 3D modeling, so I'm used to the navigation in Maya. So if I want to make sure the navigation is the same, I'm going to go to Edit, Editor Preferences, and then up here I'm going to type in Invert, and I'm going to click and check this Invert Middle Mouse Pan, like that. So now if I hold Alt and click and drag, it will rotate. If I hold Alt, middle mouse click and drag, it will pan around. And then if I hold Alt and right click and drag, it will zoom. I can also use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. If I click on this bench or any asset in the scene and hit F, it will focus in on it, right? And I can move around. Okay, so I'm going to leave the bench in here for now, so that just because it's a good reference for scale. And in the content drawer, you can see here's this rural Australia folder, right? This is what we added. I'm going to open up, excuse me, I'm going to open up the static meshes and rocks, and I will choose one of these rocks, right? I'm going to open up this rock underscore M underscore 01. Actually, I want to take a look at this. It's an interesting one. Yeah, maybe I'll use this ridge rock one. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to click and drag it in here. I want to see if it has a back. It does not, so I won't use this one. Let's look at this rock M1. And I'm just kind of checking these two out. All right. I'll drag this in. This one also doesn't have a back. None of them have backs. That's okay. You could get a different asset pack, or you could just use these. I'm going to use these even though they don't have a back. It's for this, if you're going to be creating like stones and stuff like that, it's nice to create the entire stone. That way you can rotate them completely and reuse them over and over. This will still be fine. If we rotate a mesh quite a bit, then it's going to, we'll disguise that it's the same rock over and over. So I'm going to make like a little cave. So I'm going to hit R to go to the scale tool and click and drag on the center. Whoops. The little center cube, this white one here, to scale it. I'll hit W. That's the move shortcut for the move tool. And then E for the rotate tool. And I'm just kind of, right now, I'm just kind of playing around, seeing what I want. Let's do maybe something a little bit like this. So instead of dragging it in again, what I'm going to do is hold Alt, and while holding Alt, hit W, right, so that you're in the move tool. Then while holding Alt, click and drag, and it will pull out a new copy. Then let go of Alt. Then I'll hit E to rotate again, and R to scale. So you want to be careful. Like, you don't want to scale this stuff up too much, because then it will become obvious that like the texel density, or in other words, the detail that we have inside the mesh, will not be even, right, on like throughout. It'll be very noticeable that it's different. All right, so the assignment says a minimum of 10 copies of this, right? So I'm going to grab this one, hold Alt. Actually, maybe I'll do something a little bit like, let's see, pull this up. Something like that. Then I'll grab, and obviously you can make your own little cave if you want, or whatever you want to do, but you'll just kind of see how I'm approaching this. I'm going to give it sort of this like ceiling. So typically when meshes have holes in the back of them like this, that means, it just means there are no polygons there. And that's totally fine if the player will never see, right? We'll never see that. So we'll do something like this and then hold Alt and rotate this around to create another one. Zoom back in and zoom out. All right, so I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm up to 4. I need to do 6 more. So I'm just going to go ahead and build this out, and I'll probably speed up the video during this section. All right, when you're rotating, you'll notice that it's snapping in 10-degree increments, and if I want finer control over that, I can set this rotation snap grid to something smaller, like 5, right? And now I get a finer rotation. All right, I need one more. And let's actually do like a big cliff wall or something behind it. You know, we'll say the player can't get back there necessarily, but I could see it. Let's look back in our Rural Australia folder. Let's see what else we got here. We can't use any more meshes, but just want to check. Not that. I'm going to scroll. I'm going to select this ground plane and scroll down to here. Let's drag this on here and see what it looks like. Not that. Undo. Or actually, we can go. Let's go back to. All right, I just typed in dirt up here. Let's see if we can get something a little more interesting. Doesn't tile as much, yeah. Let's try this one. Tiles too much. That's not too bad. Let me double click on this. So it's tiling quite a bit. Let's go back to this. Okay, not important. All right, so now that we've done this, I can delete that bench. This is fine. If we wanted to, we could come up here in our outliner, go to the top, grab this directional light. So if we select the directional light, and we can rotate it to change like where the sun is. I want kind of a view of the cave, maybe something like this. Grab the directional light again, directional light. Something like this is fine. Rotate this a little more. So it's like the hot midday sun, like someone wants to hang out and cool in here. Cool off in the shade. Let's hide that. All right, so let's see. Whoa, that's interesting. Okay, so just frame this nicely, and then you can take a screenshot of this. I recommend actually just grabbing, if you click on, if you look up the snipping tool, then you can open that up. That's in Windows, snipping tool, hit new, and then you can just grab a section of this like this and save it, right, by clicking on this, and then you can save it, and that's what you would submit for this assignment. And that's it. All right, if you have any questions, reach out and let me know. But again, all you have to do is just submit that, that still image, okay? All right, good work. Bye.